The Dodgers show Atlanta some gumption, and that their bullpen sucks just a little bit less than the Braves. Meanwhile, Rams owner Stan Kroenke collects 3 championships in 135 days, and he didn't even have to show up to the gym for leg day. And we know UCLA's basketball team has a ton of talent on the court, a lot of tradition. But what about USC's basketball team for next year? The answer just may surprise you a little. Good morning, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is Faithful Angelenos. It is June 27th. It is a glorious Monday morning. We are surrounded by moving boxes. We're to be moving the home office and the home itself in a couple of days. C'est la vie. But let's talk LA sports. If you like the content we've been putting out for the last 4 months, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. We try to put out a new video between 9 and 10 a.m. every day. It'll let you know it's there. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And yes, comment. I ain't perfect. And besides that, I enjoy chatting sports. By the way, we did add a new subscriber yesterday. Thank you for getting in on the ground floor. We totally appreciate you. But before we get to all the notes that are going around LA, let's get to the scoreboard first. Last night, Chris Taylor collected 3 hits, including a tie-breaking RBI double as LA increased its lead in the NL West to 2 games. They win 5-3 over Atlanta in 11 innings. Both Craig Kimbrell and Kenley Jansen, they traded blown saves. You know, for all the oddities that are going on with the Dodgers and injuries this year, they're still on a pace to win 104 games. Just saying. Meanwhile, in LA, LAFC 2, New York Red Bull 0. Christian Arango scores a game winner in the second half. Now look, I posted a rapid recap of the match on this channel yesterday. It's about 3 minutes long. You can peep it there. LAFC, let's be real, they just had a big weekend. Agreeing to terms with European striker Gareth Bale, keeping forward Carlos Vela, credit where it's due. Now, for today's games, the Dodgers are going to be in Colorado at 5:40. Tyler Anderson, he's 8-0. He's going to face his old team. And then he's going to tell them about this magical world where the baseball doesn't fly to Kansas on a check swing. Colorado's going to counter with Chad Kuhl. He's 4-5. Also in the WNBA, Las Vegas is going to play the Sparks at 7:30 as LA tries again to match its season-high winning streak of 2. Now, let's get to the notes. Start off with the Dodgers. After a week of rest, Mookie Betts told Dave Roberts he feels, quote, the same, unquote, with that cracked rib. Therefore, he's not cleared to begin baseball activities, let alone yoga. The hope was he would be out for 2 weeks. I think we can safely extend that now. And yet, that is the only Dodger injury news. It has been a long time since I've only had one Dodger injury note. Now, there's a story making the rounds in the NBA. John Wall might negotiate a contract buyout with the Houston Rockets. And as a result, the rumors are flying. Wow, he could be a Laker. He could be a Clipper. Wrong. Stop it. Look, the dude may not be as explosive as he once was, but if he negotiates a buyout, his next contract, especially with the Lakers, is going to be for minimum wage. Same problem you run into with Kyrie Irving if he tries to negotiate a buyout. They are not going down from 30 million, 35, 40 million. They're not going all the way down to 6 just to play with LeBron James. Stop it. No way. But there is a reason I bring it up with John Wall. If you remember the stories online, again, all these crazy, stupid blogging rumors, teams would only take Russell Westbrook in a trade with the Lakers if the Lakers sweetened the deal by sending first-round picks. And now you understand why the Lakers stood pat. Even Rob Pelinka was like, up yours, I'm not going to do this. We now know. Why make that trade if it is possible, unlikely, but possible, that John Wall has a buyout, right? A lot of different notes about the Rams we'll get to right now. Owner Stan Kroenke, he not only owns the Rams, but he also owns the Colorado Avalanche, which won the Stanley Cup last night. And in addition to winning the Stanley Cup, promptly damaged the Stanley Cup. The most revered trophy of all sports. They can't even hold the damn thing for 2 minutes without denting the thing. Well played, Denver. Well played. Oh, we want the cup. Yeah. So you can what? Take a baseball bat to it? I mean, seriously, next year let real men handle the damn thing. Anyway, for Kroenke, you add a professional lacrosse team's title to the mix, and he has 3 rings in 135 days. I mean, it's not like that third one was going to come from him owning Manchester United, but 3 rings nonetheless. Odell Beckham Jr. said he will not be healthy enough to play play football until at least October. That would make the earliest, absolute earliest, he could play in the NFL at week 3, if the Rams are so inclined to sign him. Side note, by the way, training camp also opens July 23rd for the defending champs. The website Turf Show Times has posted a terrific little piece about why we should all tap the brakes on rookie offensive lineman Logan Bruss starting the year at right guard. The Rams were very excited to get him in the 3rd round. There was a video clip of one of the assistant coaches doing a swan dive off of the roof of their special rented draft house at Hollywood Hills, doing a dive off the roof into the pool. They were so excited to get him. But starting immediately, here are some reasons why it's probably not going to happen. One of the most compelling reasons that the Turf Show Times brought up is Sean McVay doesn't start rookie linemen. Austin Blythe, year 3. Brian Allen, year 4. Joseph Noteboom, the heir apparent to Andrew Whitworth at left tackle. He's been in the league for 5 years. So, yeah, maybe Bruss isn't destined to immediately take over at right guard. Could happen, but not necessarily destined. Also, Bruss played for Wisconsin in college, as we all know. And it's a little known fact that the Badgers tried to outlaw the forward pass with the Supreme Court. They ran the football all the time. So maybe he's not adept at pass blocking just yet. One more note about the Rams I found very interesting. Have you ever heard the phrase dead money against the cap? Right? Now, if you don't know what dead money against the cap is, it is money charged against the salary cap for a player that's no longer with the team. In other words, you trade somebody, you cut somebody, you could have dead money against the cap. Half the teams in the NFL have at least $19 million in dead money against the cap. What about the Rams? 13.5. Significantly lower. And next year, by the way, next year's dead money against the cap, nothing. Not for Jared Goff, not for Todd Gurley, nothing. So the point being, if you're wondering exactly how the Rams can squeeze another player here under the cap, sign another contract extension there, it's probably because they don't waste what money that they spend. If you're spending money on players, they're spending money on players that they keep. Now, draft picks, sure, you can say they waste those in the first couple of rounds, but dead money, no, not so much. Free agency in the NHL is just a month away. The Kings have $19.8 million in cap space, and they don't even have truly expensive moves to make in order to keep the essentials of this young team in place. They do have 9 unrestricted free agents, which sounds like a lot, I admit that, but if you look at the names, how many of them do you really want to keep? There's only one that would be somebody that you would really want to try to force yourself to keep, and that would be defenseman Oli Mata. Among restricted free agents, Adrian Kempe is the obvious one that you want to keep, which makes him probably the most expensive of all their free agents. I mean, I don't think he's going to score 35 goals ever again, but you can't let that possibility just go away. Another restricted free agent that I'd like to see come back would include defenseman Sean Dursey, forwards Carl Grunstrom, and Gabe Vilardi. Even though Vilardi and Dursey, you could argue, could be trade bait, but you'd still want to keep that under your control. For the record, I mentioned defensemen and forwards, but I think the team's biggest need is goalie. They have Jonathan Quick under contract for just one more year. He had a renaissance year last year, but can you really say that that's going to stay? That he's going to keep playing like that? And Cal Peterson didn't exactly take the starting job by the horns last year when he was supposed to. Now, TMZ had a lovely report last night. USC's women's hoops recruit, Aaliyah Gales. She took her first steps out of a wheelchair after she was shot 10 times at a house party in Las Vegas 2 months ago. Now, I'm not saying she's walking unassisted. If you see the video, the video is actually simultaneously painful and inspirational, I gotta say. But I'm honestly, respect to her. That's a really rapid turnaround for having that many bullets and shrapnel inside you. But as for the men, I have a fair question. The men's basketball team. How far did the Trojans drop this year? 2 years ago, they were in the Elite Eight. They made the NCAA playoffs last year. And I would think most of us would agree that it's kind of clear that Arizona and UCLA are definitely better. Maybe even Oregon. Maybe. But where do you slot USC? See, this matters a little bit because Andy Enfield and his players at least opened the conversation that was once thought impossible. Can USC ever be more than a football school? And you want to keep that conversation going. The Trojans returned their starting backcourt, but Boogie Ellis was turnover prone toward the end of the year, and NBA scouts told Drew Peterson that he needs a more consistent shot. Unlike the football team, the Trojans basketball team avoided the transfer portal, but the incoming class is ranked 6th in the nation by 24/7 Sports. Another has the Trojans class ranked 7th, and another is 9th. And first, by the way, in the Pac-12. Honestly, I didn't know that. So what did Andy Enfield do after losing both Mobley brothers over the last couple of years? Well, he added the 26th ranked high school in the nation, a 7-foot center, Vincent Iwuchukwu. And then Enfield pulled in the 34th ranked high schooler in the nation, Kajani Wright, a McDonald's All-American forward from Sierra Canyon in nearby Chatsworth. And then he rounds it out with 2 guards, the 10th ranked player in California, Osiah Sellers, and then a 4-star recruit, Trey White. Now, we know from recent years, Enfield can convert a center into an NBA prospect. Again, just ask the Mobley family. So it's possible Iwuchukwu plays, and plays as a freshman, just like the Mobley brothers did. By the way, say hi to Cock Blocker the cat, making her weekly cameo appearance. But if Iwuchukwu plays, what about the other 3 recruits? How do you get them on the court? With a backcourt that, you can get a forward in there, but what about the backcourt? Perhaps a 3-guard lineup to squeeze one of the recruits in there to get some time? No idea. But fortunately, time is on their side for Enfield to figure out an answer to that. But the question remains, because despite the fact that the Lakers stunk up the joint, LA is a basketball town. How far did USC slip? Or for that matter, did they? You tell me. Now, if you enjoyed today's broadcast, don't forget to like and subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We are trying to build something here for LA sports. Thank you for watching. I'm James. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Have a great day. Bye-bye.